Have you ever wondered what hypnosis might be and what it can do for you? You've come to the right place. Welcome to Hypnosis-Everywhere with your host, Inez Simpson. This is the show that talks to everyone, from the experienced practitioner to the cautiously curious, and yes, even the skeptics. Now, here's Inez Simpson.
Hello and welcome to Hypnosis Everywhere. Today I've got a great guest on tonight. It's going to be very interesting. Oh, it's today, isn't it? Anyway, and his name is Justin Tranz, and he is in the entertainment field of hypnosis plus. So I'm just going to give it over to him. Justin, welcome, and maybe you can tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to let people know who I am through your platform. So I'm Justin Tranz, and I'm 63 years of age, and I've been doing hypnosis since I was 7. And how I got into hypnosis, when I was 7 years old, my parents took me to a carnival fair where there was a stage show. And there was a hypnotist up there, and I was so blown away, so fascinated by what this man was making all these people do. I thought that if I could learn that, I could go home and control my parents, okay? And get them to do what I want them to do. Eat the food I want, stay up late, buy me more toys. That's what really got me interested in hypnosis from the beginning. And then, right, I'll give you this. I went to a bookstore, and I asked the bookstore guy, I asked him, is hypnosis real? And I'm like 8 years old or something, 7, 8, 9, and I'm like, whatever. I go to the bookstore and I ask him, is hypnosis real? And he says to me, yes, it's real. And I go, oh my God, sell me a book. He sells me a book. It starts from there. And here's the point. If the bookstore guy had have told me no, I don't know if I would have gone into hypnosis. However, also, I never had to ask anyone else ever again in my life if hypnosis was real, because the bookstore guy said it was real, and he owns all the books. Now, think about this. The bookstore guy is probably just a minimum wage clerk, doesn't own the bookstore, but that guy, believe me, had a profound effect on me, and that's why I got into hypnosis. Now, I go on from there. I started doing hypnotherapy. That's what I did. People don't know that about me. When I first started doing hypnosis, I did 10 years of hypnotherapy in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I was born and raised. But I've got this hand in me, this one that wants to be on the stage, if you can't tell.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wanted to do that. And so I got involved in stage. I just thought that was where I really wanted to focus on. But again, don't get it wrong. Hypnotherapy is where it all started. Then I went on. Now, I go on the stage, and I believe that without truly understanding the secrets of the stage, you will never truly understand hypnosis as a whole, because there's parts of stage hypnosis that any hypnotherapist anywhere can learn from principles and methods and practices in stage hypnosis. So the only reason that we're sitting here talking right now is because I did stage. And by doing stage, I got to learn and see more about hypnosis, because when it all started, they all gave me a progressive relaxation script. Here's your script, memorize this, and you're a hypnotherapist, and here's your certification. Yay! 2-day course, 3-day course, wonderful, I'm in. Wrong. Okay.
I agree, wrong, yeah.
Wrong. In my country anyway, there is no hypnosis certification that is recognized by any local, state, or federal authority anywhere. It just isn't. So when people actually give you these pieces of paper, and mind you, I have over 3 dozen certifications from all over the place, not worth the paper that you get at the store for your toilet paper. Okay. It only shows you that you took this training. That's all.
Yes, that's all it really does.
That you showed up. So anyway, I have all that. I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy with progressive relaxation. I'm not even happy with suggestibility tests. I think they're weak. They don't work that much. From my learning, from my stuff, I know this, that progressive relaxation only takes people above the age of 23 or so into the deeper states of hypnosis. So that means you're going to fail on most of those people getting them deep. The progressive stuff only works on 80% of people under the age of 23 or so, because they haven't developed their critical faculty. But when you're about 23 and over, you begin to develop that critical faculty, and that's where the problem comes in with resistance, having your own thoughts, analyzing, where that most hypnotists have a problem with. However, if you truly understand hypnosis, that's not really a problem. I'd like to ask your audience this as I jump all over the place. You know, how many of you out there have ever heard this from someone? They said to them, "Oh, I already tried hypnosis before. It didn't work on me. The hypnotist said that I'm just one of those people that can't be hypnotized." Everybody just heard that. Raise your hand. Of course you have. Everyone. And we haven't heard it once. We've heard it how many times? Over again. So now with that fact, I thought about this. Why do I always hear this? Why? One day it hit me. You ready? Because most hypnotherapists, 90% or more of all the hypnotists on the planet, use progressive relaxation induction in some form, in some fashion. There is your problem.
I think there's hope. I think less. I'm running across a better rounded out.
Now, but they're still there. Now, what that people need to understand is everyone is hypnotizable. Because everyone is suggestible. Because if you weren't suggestible, you couldn't learn. Understand that. And 50% of us are naturals at going into hypnosis. The other 50% just take more time. That's it. So anyway, I get to Vegas. So I get to Vegas. There I am. And all I have in my pocket really is progressive relaxation induction and also suggestibility tests. But I don't want to do that because everybody does that. So now here's my contract. I'm about to begin doing 6 nights a week, 2 shows a night, 50 weeks a year for 10 years. That's what I'm about to do. So I've done over 6,000 shows just in Vegas alone, not to count the 2,000 shows I did on Broadway. How do you learn hypnosis? How do you practice hypnosis? How do you practice? You can't. I was able to practice, wasn't I? I practiced with over a couple 100,000 people over that period of time. I've done over 10,000 shows lifetime, 2,000 on Broadway, my own show, and 6,000 in Las Vegas. When you do that many shows and you hypnotize that many people, you begin to see things that you can't see if you're just reading a script. I've got people every night that I can work on and try things with. And guess what? It worked, and it worked, and it worked. And I burnt all the hypnosis I learned, just burnt it. Gone. Because I found something better. And when you don't understand what I'm saying, you just don't get it until you take the leap to try to understand where I'm coming from. And a lot of people really cannot relate to who I am, what I am, and like what I'm saying. So in a nutshell, that's it. Oh, let me go further. So then I'm doing the stage, blah, blah, blah. Stage is wonderful. But then I started getting into something called professional sportsnosis.
Ooh.
Because the NBA knocked at my door. Okay. And I got in through someone that actually had the phone call, did not want to do it, gave me the lead. I took it, ran with it, and now I am hypnotizing NBA players on all different kinds of teams. And just last year, I began working in Moscow, Russia, and am going to be possibly working with the Russian Olympic team as well. So they've seen my value and have brought me to Moscow, Russia. And if anyone has followed me on social media, they will see all of my flights going over to Moscow and all over Europe with basketball teams. Okay. So anyway, that's where I'm at kind of right now. And of course, I'm always looking to do more and more TV shows, because I have a TV series in rerun still on Playboy TV called The Extreme Truth. Okay. And I've done commercials for IKEA furniture. And if you go on the internet and you possibly look up IKEA time travel experiment, you will find about 7 different commercials I did for IKEA, hypnotizing people in their stores. And I can go on and on and on, but now I'll give you a chance to ask me some questions.
Well, so far we're pretty good on the same page. I've never done all the things you've done, but mindset, we're very similar. Now, I might not be quite as flash as you, because you've got that persona. You're great on stage. You are an energy, a big energy.
I feel
and
good.
Yeah. And you know what? It's really good for stage, but it's also good for other things. People that don't equate, they always say things about, well, that's stage work, and I'm going, yeah, they follow the same rules of the mind that we follow. Learn from these people. And we just said the same thing. Not as good.
Hypnosis is hypnosis. There isn't a clinical therapy hypnosis and a stage hypnosis.
No,
hypnosis is hypnosis.
It's hypnosis. Yep.
What it is what you're using it to do. Again, the more personality that you can actually put into your hypnotherapy, and you can learn that from the stage, the stuff that I teach, the stuff that I do. When I'm doing hypnotherapy, I'm using what I use on stage to get people in hypnosis. Wait, if I can get someone to believe that there's music coming out of their shoe, I can't stop you from smoking and losing weight. And I do that in seconds. I get someone to believe that there's music coming out of their shoe. I get them to believe that they're a bodybuilder. I get them to believe whatever I want them to believe in the moment. Wait a minute. You think I can't get you to believe that cigarettes aren't good for you or bad for you, and that you should not do it, and that you do not want to do it? You see, I can explain to you really quickly. Adults don't smoke. Children smoke. That's the real deal. And when the smoker truly understands that adults don't smoke, children smoke, and they understand what I really meant by that, they stop smoking. When they get that.
Yep. And, hypnosis is hypnosis, and it isn't and it isn't the progressive relaxation. It's not about that, because it's not about relaxation. It's about hypnosis.
Nothing about relaxation.
And
Zero.
I keep saying, you see those people dancing on a stage? Yeah. I say to people who still think that, I say, look at the stage, look at them. They're dancing, they're doing things. You think they're relaxed? They're having fun, and they're in deep hypnosis.
Well, here's something.
Look at it.
When we as hypnotists do something that drives me nuts, and I teach all of my students, I teach them this, and that is this. Stop saying the word relax. It is the most overused word that any hypnotist says, and I teach all my students, ready? Never say relax, not even one time.
I let them do it once.
Never. No, never. Just cut it out. What does relax mean? What? Relax. You stop it.
I agree.
There's other words to use instead of relax. There's other ways. Stop doing your script. Be real with people. Connect with them. Feel what you feel and talk about that.
Yes.
Okay? It's a natural hypnosis is a natural state of mind that belongs to you. Okay? It is also the most misunderstood topic on the planet. And it's our job as hypnotists and hypnotherapists to do one thing: educate the public on what hypnosis is, and not to be afraid to call hypnosis and don't call it something else. No, it's hypnosis. Call it that, and then educate them on what it is so that they don't have the fears and misconceptions of what hypnosis is.
Wow, so far we're on exactly the same page everywhere, and that's good. So I think I want to lead you into some of your history of who you trained with, because you blew my mind when you told me some of the people that you have done.
Well, I only, like I said, I've trained with over 36 people, but let me give you the main ones that people may have heard of. Charles Tebbets, Harry Aarons, Gil Boyne, Orman McGill, who else? Stanley Mitchell, people may have heard of. But one of the best people ever is a guy that most people have never heard of. And he's still alive, and he's not doing well. And his name is Jim Hoke, and he's out of Troy, Michigan. One of the greatest minds I ever met. And I can go on later or like more and more about what I actually thought about all these people, if you want me to actually go there. But my point is, I'm trying to think of some other people that I train with, because there's so many notable people. But I'm just trying to give you the people that people may have heard of. So I guess I kind of got to leave it at that, because that's all the people I think that people have really heard of those names. Okay.
Well, there's some huge names in there, and I remember some you told me before, and I think that we'll do that. But from what you learn along the
another person is I studied with Richard Bandler, NLP, studied from him. Richard Bandler, Charles Tebbets, Richard Bandler, can't think of his name. Doctor, there's a doctor in there. I can't think of his name. But Richard Bandler.
I think I don't even it's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah.
Tony Robbins and Dave Dobson. And there's another guy in there I studied from too. So anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, it's prolific amount of training. Now, from what I know and from what I've done in the field since I got in, when you take a training, sometimes doesn't always meet expectations, but there's always something you usually learn, even if it's what not to do.
You can actually learn something even if it's what not to do. And also, in my training, when I was learning from Richard Bandler, there was a guy in my class. Many of you may have heard of him. He was in my class. His name was Tad James. This was back in 86 or so. Tad James was in my class learning from Tony Robbins and also Richard Bandler.
Good. And on that note, I think we'll go to break, because we have to go to break, and I'll see everybody on the other side.
Time for water.
All right, you're clear.
What happened to my 30?
You're listening to Hypnosis Everywhere, the Simpson Protocol. To reach the show today, send an email to Inez, that's INES, at InezSimpson.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Welcome back, everybody, and welcome back to Full Life Justin Tranz. So we're just going to give it over to him because I don't have to do much on this show. I just give it over to him.
Well, here we go. Let's talk about some of the people that I mentioned. There was one person that I didn't mention, and some of you may have heard of a man by the name of Walter Secord. If you've ever heard of the ultra-depth hypnosis, he's the guy that created that, as far as I understand, and I was a student of his. And here's a man that I thought that was brilliant with this ultra depth. But let's get to the point. Ultra depth is a script. It's a long script. Now, and the one that you may have is a altered script of the original script that he really wrote. I can't find my original ultra depth script. I'm upset, but one day we'll find it. But if anyone has the original script, I would love to have a copy, because if you've got the James Ramey version, it is an altered version. And to me, with all respect to James, he shouldn't have touched it. It was a masterpiece. It was long. It is redundant, but I am a recipient of having the ultra depth done to me every week, because I would go to his school every week. In this school, it was a house, and the house had this hypnosis room with 7 or 8 beds or 10 beds, and I can't remember. And in the class, we would have to lay in these beds, and he would do ultra depth on us in these beds. And I swear to you, I don't know where I went. When I got out, I was like, where the heck was I? So Walter Secord really believed in healing. And, he's known for that. Yeah. And if anybody's interested in his work, I would say definitely get into the ultra depth from Walter Secord. Now I'll move over to Charles Tebbutt. Just a brilliant man. That's all I'm going to say, though, about him. Read his books, get his stuff. Lovely man, like his stuff. It works. Now let's move on to a guy by the name of Gil Boyne. Study with him. Gil Boyne, from the jump, was a very arrogant, pompous human being. But if you could get past that and not get distracted by his very strong, dominating personality, he was a master.
Yeah, he was
brilliant. And he's one of the people that changed my life and made me the hypnotist I am today. I give him a lot of credit for what he was teaching, who he was, and etc. And we became very good friends. But like I said, you just have to get over his personality. I'll give you something. So I lived on the East Coast. He was on the West Coast. I was a member of the National Guild of Hypnotists in those days because I didn't know any better, and I'll get back to that. So anyway, they're telling me not to go see him because, he's like nothing, he's nothing. But all the people at the National Guild back in those days, they were doing progressive hypnosis, suggestibility tests, and no one was doing any demonstrations on hypnosis. They told you fantastic stories about what they did. No, show me. None of them showed you. But I happened to see Gil Boyne on a video or something, and he's doing hypnosis on people. And I go, I got to go to see him. I don't care what that the NGH says. I got to go out there and see him. Best thing I ever did, because that also sprung me into learning from so many more people. Mm-hmm. And then there's a guy by the name of Dwight Damon, the president of the NGH. I'm just going to say, because this is me, how does a guy leave the NGH that isn't even a hypnotist? He's not even a hypnotist. Here's a guy that you've never seen teach hypnosis, talk about hypnosis, write a book on it. What is he doing? Nothing but take your check. Now let's move on. So anyway, next. Let's talk about Orman McGill. Orman McGill, phenomenal human being. Love him. Rest in peace. However, he really wasn't a very good or confident hypnotist. How do I know? I was backstage with him at many, many shows. He's worried, he's afraid, he's scared that his hypnosis isn't going to work. He wrote wonderful books. However, those books might have been sort of maybe wonderful back in those days, maybe, but they're out of date, out of thought. He wrote books. And I do think that Orman McGill has hijacked and held hypnosis back 100 years or more, because a lot of people call that the Bible of stage and this and that. And it is so far away from being even close to what you should read of the definitive work of stage hypnosis. Burn the book. Orman, I love you, but it's not any good. It doesn't really work on what you need it to do, because there's so much greater and better out there. Harry Aarons was a wonderful man. I'll just give you the story. When he would do hypnosis on me, and he used to do hypnosis on me because I stuttered, and I still do stutter, and you may just pick up on it as I'm speaking. So anyway, I was a very severe stutterer, and I went to him to learn hypnosis from him, but also while I was there, I wanted him to do hypnotherapy on my stuttering. So he would hypnotize me every single week, but this is how he did his hypnosis. It was a long, progressive stuff, fine. But he'd say, okay, you're going deeper and deeper. He'd clear his throat, and he'd say some more words and like visualize this. So every, like 5 to 7 seconds, he's actually clearing his throat. But you got used to it, and, and it did not bother you. Let's talk about Richard Candler. I just think that Richard is a brilliant guy, interesting man. Let's talk about Tony Robbins, interesting guy, powerful guy. These are 2 more human beings that really, really helped me to develop into who I am today. So going back to your point is, you should learn from everybody, again, because you can pick up 1 nugget, 2 nuggets, or learn what not to do. And that's very special. And the more people that you train with, you begin to understand how much many hypnosis teachers, instructors don't really know. That's what you begin to find out when you go down this rabbit hole. Because a lot of people have great ads and they can talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk until you really get with them. Now, let's talk about stage here just for a moment. You got stage. But it's interesting how that all the stage hypnotists teaching stage hypnosis will not show you their full, unedited version of their show. Wait a minute, what did I just say? They won't show you an unedited version of the show. You go on the internet, look all over the place, I'll show you all of my videos of my stage work are unedited. You see me from the time I hit the stage until I leave. There are no edits, no like cuts. When you see someone showing you something, okay, in a video of a stage show and it's edited, they didn't want you to see something. What didn't they want you to see? It could have been boring, slow, something like that. But that's when you start to see edit. Also, when you're watching hypnosis teachers selling you on their course, they're always showing you videos of them doing hypnosis in a classroom with hypnotists who are open-minded, willing to go along, to actually get along, but they never show you random people in the street or just people that they did randomly. And I'll make my point. I was doing a training in Scotland many years ago, maybe 7 years ago. I'm in Scotland. And the class, because, you can hear me, I talk. you know. And people might say, oh, he thinks he's hot stuff. Well, I do, but that's another life story. Anyway, in Scotland, they actually wanted to stump me or to put me on the spot. So they brought in a person randomly from the hotel to stop smoking, and there was one also on spiders. I didn't know that the class was going to bring them into the class. I didn't hesitate. I did not skip a beat. Okay, they brought them in. Cameras were running. There are no edits, fades, dissolve. You see the whole thing. And I handled both of those people like that. Everything I had taught them, I did on the spot with random people. So my whole point is, please stop being impressed when you see someone hypnotizing a student that's in their class. No, that's not real world. You've got to learn from people who are going to show you what they do in the real world. And a lot of teachers teach because they can't make it in the real world at times. But anyway, I'll pause.
And here we'll say, as usual, just tell us what you feel.
Okay.
So I know that, my background is Elman style hypnosis. Sure, I took some NLP. Sure, I did this. Sure, I did that. But I like to get down and dirty and do the work. So
yes,
that's sort of my mindset. So you know a little bit about Elman, of course.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me go back to Gil Boyne. Gil Boyne, if you took his training, Gil Boyne had a bookstore inside of his school, a bookstore with all the tapes, videos of everybody out there. Every week, every day, he would sell you stuff. If you're in his class, you gotta buy this stuff. I bought everything. He put out there. Now, he sold me a book called Hypnotherapy, Dave Elman. Never heard of the name? Nothing about it at that time. He also sold me these 3 vinyl albums of cassette tapes, side A, side like B. Cassette. Who has a cassette? I don't. Okay. Anyway, but back then, cassettes were popular, and that's what you used. Fine. It was also on this hypnotherapy, Dave Elman. A couple years go by, and I read the book. But based on everything, I sort of that doesn't even make any sense. That's hogwash. A couple years later go by, and I see these 3 black albums of these cassettes. And I go, oh, Dave Elman, that's the book I read. Oh, let me just listen to this. The tapes I got, the 36 hours, are the transcripts of the book. But now you get to hear Dave Elman in his own words telling you how he taught the doctors and the dentists. My mind just went like, now, I can't tell you how many times I went over it. And I also took notes on it myself, and I wrote them all down. So I studied Dave Elman inside out. And let me stick this in there. In my opinion, if you want to learn Dave Elman, learn it from no one but Dave Elman tapes, audio. That is why not learn it from the source? Why not learn it from the horse's mouth? Why get a version of mine, which is good, but still it's my version. I prefer anyone that really wants to learn Dave Elman, find the audio recordings. And let me give you a place to find the best audio recordings. I don't make any money. He happens to be a student of mine, but I make no money at all. Look up a guy on Facebook called J.P. Barnham, Barnham. He has the best audio recordings on Dave Elman on the planet Earth. There is no one that has anything better. Trust me, take it to the bank. That's who I buy it from. But please learn it direct from Dave Elman, is my opinion. Okay? So now then, I understand the Dave Elman, I think I do, but I want to know more. So then I find out that he has a student named John London who has passed on, and he's in Phoenix, Arizona. John London is a direct student. He learned from Dave Elman. I believe he was sent to Dave Elman by the U.S. Army. He learns it. He knows it, is what I'm told. I go to him, back in, and this is like 20 years ago, something like that. I go to him, and he's charging $2,000 for 2 days, 20 some years ago. But I'm invested. If you're going to do this, you've got to invest in yourself and learn from all of us. If you've got the time, you must do that. So I give him the 2,000. I go for day one, and I'm sitting there, and he teaches me. And then he goes like, okay, do it. And I do it to him. He goes, you do Dave Elman better than I do it. And I went, really? He goes, my God, yes. So I explained to him at that point, I had studied the books and the tapes. He said, oh my God, you don't need me. Okay, you don't need me. There is nothing I can help you with. So he gives me $1,000 back. And we do the 2 days anyway, but he gave me $1,000 back because he said, I really can only give you a little like insights, but you've got it. You have got it. That's what you have. So Dave Elman, I've taken the Dave Elman method in my own deal. I've taken it and I've taken it to a better place, meaning this. Dave Elman stuff is all around the eye lock. A lot of my work is definitely around the eye lock. The difference is that mine is a much more powerful method of doing the eye lock that makes it even stronger than his. And Dave Elman's responsibility for his eye lock was actually about the people having to do the eye lock for themselves, okay? Whereas mine is, you're the powerful.
Okay. So we got to go to break. I'll have to break in there for that because we're going to get in a little more controversial topics, obviously. And what I'm going to say here, we'll see you on the other side because I get to talk first. Thank you. See you on the other side.
All right, you're clear.
Okay.
You're listening to Hypnosis-Everywhere, the Simpson Protocol. To reach the show today, send an email to Inez, that's INES, at InezSimpson.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Well, welcome back to this exciting, fun program and our opinionated program, which is awesome. And back to Justin.
So where is hypnosis going?
Yeah, that's what I
believe. I believe this, okay? I've talked about my mentors, people I've trained with, and I've tried to lay it on the line from my point of view. Again, I'm 63, been doing it since I was 7. I'm giving you my point of view of what I've experienced with these people and my experience in the real world. I am standing on the shoulders of Dave Elman, Gil Boyne, Orman McGill, Harry Aarons. I'm standing on their shoulders. If it wasn't for these people, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah,
I took what they took. I took the pieces that I felt I could use, coupled with hypnotizing over 200,000 people and seeing what that would do and mixing it up and creating what I teach though today. I'm not saying that my way is the only way. It is a way. It is a wonderful way. It's a powerful way if one would take the time to look at it. But I'm not the only way. There are many ways. And you need, again, to train with each and every one out there that you can comfortably afford to train with. I say invest in your future in hypnosis if this is the way you want to go. And I say this, if you leave my training out of your training, I think you're out of your mind. Because I have a piece. I have a piece that nobody else has that's going to fit perfectly with everything that you do. So that's what I always say. Now then, before I keep on talking and I miss it, so I'm going to be in Australia, okay? The whole month of February, you're going to see stuff on me coming to Australia, Sydney, Perth, Melbourne, Brisbane, I believe. I'm going to be there the whole month of February. Also, I'm going to be coming to Dublin, Ireland in September of 2020 as well. And my website is JustinTranz.com, and Trance is spelled Tranz, like zoo. JustinTranz.com. If you want to contact me there. Or you can actually contact me at Justin@pimpyourmind.com. Justin at pimpyourmind.com. Pimp Your Mind, P-I-M-P, pimpyourmind.com. You can contact me there. There are like two. But hypnosis, I'm looking, because I think that the bar of hypnosis is very low. I want to elevate, raise the bar. I challenge people to be better. I challenge you to leave what you're doing that isn't really working for you, but you're holding on to it because it's all you've got and it's what you're used to, and you're afraid to leave it and go somewhere else. Stop being a Kool-Aid drinker, a clone. This isn't a personality friendship contest. This is about you becoming the best that you can be for you. And when people are telling you not to train here and there, you gotta wonder why. Because I say, train with everybody. Everybody. Now then, I may tell you this, maybe they're not that good, but I still tell you to train with them anyway so that you know for yourself. This has nothing to do with personality. It has to do with you wanting to be better. And don't let anyone talk you out of training with anyone at all.
And the other thing, can I add a little thing in there, is that I think for me, we're supposed to be other trainers. I still take training. What happens? Why do you stop?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I always still work with clients. I still always do this. If you are a trainer and never touch another human being that's outside of the training, you lose your edge.
There's a training that I'm interested in. Mm-hmm. And the training is with Rick Collingwood.
Yeah,
I'm very interested in this mesmerism stuff you're talking about.
Yeah.
So
you and me both.
Say anyone that's interested in mesmerism, I'm going to be probably doing that training with Rick Collingwood. I have high respect for that man. Very high respect.
There's going to be some exciting news about a great course with him that I'm not going to let out yet.
Okay. And when you mention trainings, okay, I'm who I am, Justin Tranz. However, I haven't taken a training in years, but I took over 36. I'm always looking for someone I believe that has something that could share. However, when I look at their body of work, I can't take their training because I already know they don't know. But Rick Collingwood is the first person ever that has stimulated my imagination on learning something from another person at this point in my life. But I am a student of hypnosis, and I believe that we all should be students of hypnosis. Yes. And I believe that I haven't even scratched the surface on what that hypnosis really is all about. I believe I know more than most, but I still believe that I haven't even scratched the surface, and we haven't scratched the surface on what hypnosis can really do out there. So
you say you haven't done much training in the past, since then. But you working every day on stage, you're always doing new things. It's always moving forward. So that's not quite the same. But what I'd like to know now is I usually suck in my guest to give away a little gift to the audience about self-help.
About self-help. Okay. Self-help now then, this would be self-help for the hypnotherapist.
Okay.
Okay. Now then, but I'm going to change. Okay. I'm going to start here and go.
The only thing with that is that our biggest part of the audience is lay people that aren't hypnotists.
Oh, they're lay people.
They're mostly. You're talking to a few hypnotists, I mean, percentage-wise. But this is the general population education of hypnosis, and that's what we're doing here. And you did.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Then now for self-help. I mean, I hope they haven't heard this one but it's very, very simple. And if they have heard it, I'm going to confirm it. And I may get the wording wrong. Research a person by the name of Emile Coué.
Yeah,
Emile
we're on the same
Coué.
page.
I think he was a pharmacist or I forget what he was, but anyway, he was French, whatever. But he said something that was very important, and I use it with all of my clients, no matter what the therapy is. And it basically goes like this. Tell yourself as a mantra, every day, tell yourself this. Each and every day, in every single way, I'm getting better and better. Repeat it, say it over and over. And you can even tailor fit it. Each and every day, I'm more confident. Whatever you're going to treat it. But his saying was simply this. Each and every day, in every single way, I'm getting better and better. Or each and every day, in every single way, I am better. And by saying that, you already know what you're working on. You already know what you want subconsciously, so you don't have to really tailor fit it to fit. Each and every day, I'm better at this or that and this. And I can do no. Just each and every day in every single way, I'm getting better and better. If you do that as a mantra, want it to happen, expect it to happen, feel it happen, it will happen overnight. You will begin to understand it. Also, by saying that every day, over and over and over again, out loud, silently, write it, just have it in your mind. It's your mindset. You are going to notice yourself changing in big ways and in little ways. You're going to become more clear on things that you have been bothered with or confused about. You're going to open up and recognize who you really are. Stop lying to yourself and believing that you're not worthy. Stop believing you are not worthy. The people that made you feel like crap, the people that made you feel like you were less than, they lied to you. They lied to you. And why did they lie to you? Because they were talking about themselves. Why listen to someone that is going to put you down? Why listen? Stop listening.
Yeah, I was just going to say, stop listening.
Stop listening. And don't be afraid to cut people out of your life that don't support you and what you're about. Cut them out. Let them go. And when you let those people, it may be hard to, because you think, well, wait a minute. If I let them go, I'll have nobody. No, if you let them go, you will create a vacuum.
What happened? Something's happening to your volume.
Oh, you're Justin?
Justin?
I'm still here.
No, it's dropped. Your voice. Yeah, no, I can hear you, but it's not real well. So
Something happened on your phone?
no, they check your phone for a minute, and I'll just keep talking for a sec. Look at it.
Phone is the same. I don't know what I changed. I didn't touch anything.
No. Okay. Anna, hang on one sec, and I'll just maybe. What do you suggest he does?
I don't know. Justin, it sounded like you hit a mute button or something on their phone. No, I know.
No?
It just dropped. Okay, well.
Yeah. Anyway, that's good. But I'll say for the Emile Coué, that is the one and the only, the best thing to do. I agree with you. So let's see if I can if we can. Huh?
He says just close. Tell him who's on the show next week.
Oh, so we're just about to close. So I guess that's not going to make it. That was good timing. If you want to get a hold of Justin, he's given you all the information. You'll find it on the show page. And who is on next week? We have got just a completely different soul from you next week. And that's what this show's about, showing you every facet of hypnotist. She's Gabby Lazinger. She's German. And she runs Happy Children. You know Gabby?
Gabby is my student.
Gabby, I love Gabby. She's my student too. So we're both lucky. We're both lucky. Anyway, we can't hear you. So she's on next week. And I'm giving a bit of a push to her Happy Children. And she is phenomenal. She's the real deal. And I love her dearly. And I'll see you guys all next week with Gabby. Good night.